Yeah, I was kind of working it out in my head earlier, and if we have a runner from one team finish and then both
we're
members
off.
of the other team finish, it is very possible.
Okay, so we have 50 rubies in Link's house, followed by a map at the sanctuary.
Yep, and Furaime is taking the castle dip. And there you go, the French Canadians immediately splitting off. We get a map check, all crystals in the light world.
Yeah, I saw red crystal over to Eastern. I did not quite catch if the desert was a blue or red crystal or not.
It looked red to me, but not 100% sure.
Magical boomerang available for our runners. They've been doing a Houlihan strat. And we find the Ether Medallion. And Hordercrats have bombs.
It's very nice to find early. Keeps you from having to worry about that as you're doing your Kakariko checks where you definitely need some bombs. And you could also use a little bit of money, like we're finding in the Thieves' Hideout. We also saw some on Lumberjack, so you would say Aga's not required, but it's an all-dungeon seed. Aga was required.
Yeah. Even if Aga is not required for anything else, not required for Dark Glasses, not required because of Pyramid Fairy, he's still required for the seed goal. And unfortunately, we did see the uncle, but this one was there. At least I did.
Yeah, same. The commentary stream was acting up just a little bit. But there's always a fair chance we'll see another runner hit that up, especially if it was anything of value.
Ooh, hello, Canis Samaria.
That's something of value.
And yeah, so this is left versus right. Right, essentially. Flute at Blindside. A sword at Sahasrar's place. Good stuff is being found all over the place.
Yeah, Sahasrarla also hiding the blue mail. So nice offense and defense setup.
So we're trying to get these runners synced up for you guys here. Bear with us a little bit. Might take a little bit of time.
Yeah, Furaime showing that the lack of sword on their route, not a huge deal in dealing with the mini Moldorms.
Yep. 2 pairs of 20 rubies. It's the Uncle Pack of Bombs. The Moon Pearl! Good stuff.
Yeah, that makes mini Moldor more than worth doing.
Eastern has the hammer!
And that makes Eastern more than worth doing. So we can expect A-Rod to head over there pretty soon.
Even amidst the fact that we got a blue mail for Ninban there as well. It must have been a Sahasrar's hut.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, heading over in that direction gets you blue mail, sword, hammer. The well has Quake. Kakariko is actually seeming to be the slider play on this one.
Yeah, lots of good stuff being found all across the board. Big key for Ninban. Don't relay that to his teammate A-Rod. Because they need that big key. They need most of them. And Flute coming online for Kyong92. Getting that fast travel unlocked is going to help a lot.
And A-Rod finds the last medallion already. We've got all our magic.
Wow, all of that was in the Kakariko area.
Yeah.
So we don't need to worry about what medallion we need for Maya or Turtle Rock. We already have them all. So that's another piece of mind our runners have. And a unique item in Palace of Darkness. Good information there as well.
Still a lot of unique items to find, and especially when you're doing all dungeons, that means you can't skip any of the unique items that would only get you 1 or 2 dungeons.
Yeah, of course, unique items. There could be some trolly ones. Like, for example, the single arrow is actually considered a unique item.
As is the bug net.
Yep.
Yeah,
Once they get
Furaime... Oh, go ahead.
Once they get once they get Dark World access, Team French Canadians here on the right are most likely gonna go visit it, Pod if they can.
Yeah, because they are absolutely going to share that kind of information. And we can tell that the information on what was in the well and in Blind's hut was shared with Furaime, because it's not even bothering to bomb the walls. We know there's nothing back there. That's a hook shot from the bottle vendor.
We missed that. Did Ninban, did A-Rod not have enough money to get that?
That's possible.
Well, we'll see. He'll be doing a menu here to fight the mini Moldrum soon enough and switch to bombs.
Cause yeah, Ninban did the Houlihan play. A-Rod did not. So that's that's no.
He doesn't have the hook shot. I had to agree with someone in chat. Kakariko is loaded this seed. Alright, we're gonna see what Uncle had for us. Uncle.
Loads of money.
Ah, that's what was there.
Yeah,
you having money.
You get the uncle's estate.
So yeah, we already have all the medallions in the first 7 minutes. Those medallions being at the Mushroom Spot with Ether, Quake was in the well, and Bombos was in the tavern. They're all right next to each other, essentially. And we have a sword to cast them as well. This seed is pretty much just, hey, here's all the magic. Have fun. Of course, I doubt any of our runners will be using those medallions except for required uses. Because even though they are screen nukes, they can take a little bit of time to cast.
Yeah, usually a little slower than...
Power Glove found at Hyrule Castle escape sequence.
Yep, that's Dark World.
And Team French Canadians knows it. But they can't do much with the Dark World actions they have. They can visit Palace of Darkness, they can visit the Thieves' Hideout area, but they can't really navigate well in that area or do any of the other dungeons.
Yeah, you're pretty much operating just Dark Overworld at that point, which is a good number of spots, but not as much as you would like on your first visit. You want to get a lot more going if you can.
Yeah, that hookshot will help us significantly, I feel.
Ninban finishing up the escape sequence. Just a boomerang in Zelda's chest.
And Kyong about to get their first sword, along with their blue mail. Fake quiver from Furaime. Is that arrows?
That looked like money.
Couldn't tell.
Of course, if this were retro, we would both be right.
I suppose that's true. Alright, back of escape. We have not seen this yet. There's the bow! And a lot more money. Alright, now we're talking.
This is a very stacked first sphere.
Here's the thing.
We got bow, we got all medallions, flute.
Well, first off, that was technically second sphere because that was glove locked.
Oh, yeah.
But more importantly, remember that hint that Ninban and A-Rod got? Unique item at Palace of Darkness? They can full clear Palace of Darkness now. combined with what they have.
True. They'll have to do a couple dark rooms, but those aren't the worst ones out there.
I would argue Dark Turtles is pretty bad.
Yeah, but not the worst. Second worst is not the worst.
Fair enough. And Ninban will get the flute, leave the rest behind. He'll probably check the bottle merchant in for A-Rod, considering he could not do that.
Yeah, hopefully A-Rod communicated that fact. It looks like he did.
Yep, and now they know that it's the hook shot, so A-Rod will be heading back to Kakariko. Which, for him, is just a quick flute to 3. And yeah, I kind of agree with Macro. What a way to light up the room to see the turtles. It's kind of like one of the worst rooms. Dark Aga, though. Absolutely top of the list of being the most annoying room. You might think, oh, the lampless Turtle Rock is bad. Not. You're on rails for the most part. If you know when to turn, it's really just muscle memory. Need the room.
Yeah, that one only gets bad if you mess up a turn and then get yourself lost.
Yeah, and there's enough tells to tell you when you turns can hold the next direction.
But of course, I say all this. I've screwed up the path up to Death Mountain in the dark before, so I'm not really one to talk.
Yeah, I still have issues with that on occasion. It's mostly just having fully committed everything needed to memory. Like, there's no way I can do that without a sword to see where I am.
Well, it looks like Furaime is going to do a dark room without a sword. Going to try to hunt down the key rat, for that matter. Because we have not seen the swamp, or the sewers chest. And I guess we do know that there's an item in there. We already saw the map.
Yeah, so they might have to come back to that in a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like Ninban is going to be our first one into the Dark World. At 13 minutes.
Yeah, he's going straight to Pod. There's no real reason to. We'll all see a map check here. Pod is the green pendant. And we saw red pendant at Skull Woods. I missed where the third pendant is.
Yeah, unfortunately that was the only set of pendants that I caught.
So I'm saying
yeah,
Thieves
Thieves
Town?
Town.
Yeah, I think that was it.
And there's our lamp over in Hype
Okay.
Cave.
Not much else here, though. But that lamp is still pretty good, considering that Thousand Artists is now in full clear logic, and with the unique item hit, I go there right away.
Yeah, very worth going, but at the same time, it is just a green pendant, so may not be as worth full clearing. We'll have to see about that. Might end up wanting to come back to it later.
Yeah. So Ninban here is going into the Dark World here to go visit it.
Kyong heading up to Death Mountain.
And these runners are mostly going to full clear Pals of Darkness. They know that there's a unique item in there somewhere. And, well, it says a unique item. Doesn't mean it's one unique item. I've seen there a unique item hit for Ice Palace. Everything in there was a unique item, technically.
Yep. And of course, I was being a little foolish earlier. This is all dungeons, so they're going to clear Pod eventually.
Yeah. And considering they can full clear Pod and Eastern, I'm surprised Ninban's actually doing the Dark World version first without the mirror.
That probably goes back to the unique item knowledge. But yeah, this is a mode where routing can get kind of interesting. Between the level of knowledge that you get from having a partner and wanting to route checks in that will give your partner more information. But I will say I'm a little surprised that Kyong is the first one to go up Death Mountain, considering we have logical access and the hook shot and the hammer.
Alright, so we got another hint killer coming up here. I missed what was Old Man, unfortunately. Catch shots! Good hit. Good hit. Oh, that was a redundant one. So, in case you missed the hint at Symmetrical Rock, it just told you, hey, what's on top of me? When you could see that going in.
Yeah, and so far that's all that was there, was just money. But that's 3 checks, and we haven't hit Paradox Gate yet.
And that's exactly what they're doing. Alright, lower 2. Another sword.
Good to find.
Yep. That's minimum required for this seed. Ideally, though, they would like tempered. Shovel. In Paradise Cave.
So we know we won't have that as a truly unique item in Pod.
Not much else, though.
Yeah, just a sword and some junk. Unless that shovel leads to progression, but most likely no.
Stuffy check from A-Rod. It's a heart container.
Yeah, our runners are on pretty low health at the moment, all of them at 5.
So far, I haven't seen anything unique here in Palace of Darkness. And it would be really annoying if we couldn't see any of the items down here in the basement. Thankfully, we found the lamp, and also thankfully, from what I hear about the next version of the randomizer that's going to be eventual, is that all darkroom items will be visible.
Yep. Well, in the meanwhile, Furaime has...
I think that was our fire rod there.
I missed where that was. There's 4 very different runs happening right now. Okay, so Fire Rod and Cape were unique items in Pod. Furaime did, I guess, take the lead in terms of dungeon clearing, because that is Eastern taken care of.
I don't think that's a unique item, but that is still a great item to find. That is the Titan's Mitts.
That's a good item to find, and yeah, I don't believe progressive items count as unique items, so...
I could be wrong in terms of gloves. I know there's at least one that counts. I forget which progressive item counts as unique. I think it is the gloves, but I could be...
Possibly. I know swords don't.
Yeah. They've been taking a death warp there. We just saw the old man there, but I missed it. Ah, that's what it was. It was a bottle with a red potion in it, and A-Rod's going to turn that in for 20 rupees here at the Sick Kid. So Kyong also has that.
It's not exactly a big deal to have. We'll see if the shovel was a big deal. Nope.
Hey, Rod, did you pass by and not get your hook shot?
That's an interesting thing to try to just route in later.
Dark Palace Imp, map, and a shield. Fire locked in Misery Mire. So we won't see the Firelock chest in Mire today.
Oh no, I did get the hook shot.
Okay.
So yeah, you would know that that's a hook shot and doing a co-op run, and yeah, that's a weird thing to put off. You will see runners putting off various items, because of, you know, maybe you don't need 2 of the 3 medallions, so why bother going back for them? But you need the hook shot. You definitely need the hook shot. You definitely need the flippers.
Yep, you definitely need the flippers too. Kyong now with the lamp as well. That's actually kind of surprising that Ninban did not pick up the medallions when he was in Kakariko.
Yeah, might be doing exactly that, waiting to see what ones they'll actually need.
Well, the Death Mountain one doesn't make much sense unless they're already planning that out in advance. Because you don't want to climb Death Mountain again after finding out, oh, I need to go grab this.
Well, A-Rod does have all the medallions, so if they do the climb, take a peek at Turtle Rock, and report that info back, then okay.
Yeah. We find if A-Rod does it. And actually, looking at what we have combined between our 2 runners for French Canadians, we're only an Ice Rod away from having full access to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, although doing Turtle Rock with a fighter sword is a certain kind of pain.
Oh, be careful, little Ninban. There you go. Bunny on Helliser King, and the green pendant has been claimed.
Rame setting up the
Ooh.
hammer jump.
Yes, hammer jump. Hammer jump, as we know it. Double pixel perfect trick.
And there
And
you
he
go.
gets it. And someone say mirror and ice for no mode? Depending, really. This is an all dungeon seed as a reminder, folks, so we do need the ice rod, we do need the mirror. We may also need the boots. And currently, with only one other sword known to us, that being on Kyong, might also want the silver arrows, if nothing else. Because
Yeah.
Mastered Silverless Ganon is annoying.
I mean, it's possible. Technically.
Oh no, did Furaime die before getting the mitts? That's a problem.
Got to... Ooh.
Oh, looks like you got him.
Yeah, oh, yep, he got him. He got him.
Whew. Don't give us the heart attack there, man.
Really a commentator/tracker's best friend, the pause menu.
Runners as well to a degree. A unique item, that's Bombos. Unique item in the Kakariko Tavern, that's one of our medallions, so... That's a Thanksgiving hint, but... It does remind Ninban that he hasn't picked up... No, that's, was picked up from, A-Rod's end.
Yeah, at this point I have to feel like Ninban not having medallions is a routing strategy.
Will it pay off, though, is the question. I mean, at the very least, Bombos we know is not going to be extremely required unless it's our entry into Mire or Turtle Rock, because we already had the Fire Rod for Ice Palace. But having Bombos at the same time does make Cold Stare a little bit more manageable, because you have some magic left over to shoot the puffs with.
Yeah, the magic gets a little tighter if you're trying to do it with Fire Rod, and especially without half magic.
Alright, Fraime's turn for the Helmosaur King. And yeah, the Ninban does have the cane. He's definitely picked it up. I saw him.
And has the Master Sword now.
And A-Rod has that information. As a reminder, folks who just made tuning in, this is cooperative all dungeons. Our two teams are split on vertically across your screen, so left is fighting right, and the two members of each team can share information with each other behind the scenes. So Ninban, by picking up the Master Sword, has told A-Rod where that second sword is. And in turn, A-Rod's found the flippers. Ninban knows where they are.
Now, obviously, we can't listen in to our runners' conversations. We don't know if, for example, A-Rod would tell Ninban about that heart container that was in Thieves Town. That's the sort of thing that, is going to come down to how much do the players want to communicate. Do they want to share everything, or, hold off on just the important stuff? Let the other player on the team focus a bit more.
Oh, we see Ninban on Death Mountain here. He's cleaning it up.
Now, I did see earlier that Hera is fire-locked, so if Ninban goes all the way over to there, they will be able to clear that out.
Where was that hint?
No, we saw that because Kyong actually went over there before having the lamp or the fire rod, and just had to bail out.
Ah, okay, so that was a visual information. I missed it. Flying down for A-Rod.
And Kyong is not going to be far behind on that front.
Yeah,
Furaime going to head
over to Hera.
And Furaime is going to head into Village of Outcasts, which will mean a set of flippers in short order.
Now, we could have an Ice Rod in Turtle Rock. That is a possibility.
Yep, unfortunately we can't have an Ice Rod in Ganon's Tower, which is one of the more interesting kind of arrangements that you get with all dungeons when a required item is in GT, because it's required for a pendant dungeon.
And we just got a hint there in Hera. Probably missed it when Kyong checked it, but it was just some arrows at Graveyard Ledge, so nothing too important. But there is another hint higher up the tower.
Ninban doing a bit of a dance rather than a coffee break in the style room.
Yeah, look at his health here. There's a reason for it.
Yep.
He is setting up a Death Warp to happen as soon as he finishes up grabbing this key. Perfectly executed there. Enemies
Yeah.
also behaved quite nicely.
Very swift maneuvering.
Alright, we're seeing Furaime in Skull Woods for the first time. So new information there.
That's another pendant, but all dungeons definitely required and can definitely be cleared right now.
Indeed. Breachess has only has money for us. And A-Rod has got the information there. Definitely going to get the meds. Map in the chest, and we get a hint here. And green pennant turn is nothing. That is a piece of heart on Sahasrara.
I feel like I very rarely see that particular hint. Like when I see green pendant hits, it's different text. There are quite a few item locations that have multiple options for what the hint text could be.
Yeah, and if anyone's just not tuning in, we are not there just yet because it is all dungeons. We do need the ice rod for Turtle Rock. We need the mirror for Swamp. And ideally, we would like to have another sword.
Yeah, but nonetheless, 31 minutes in, and the majority of what we will need to complete this seed is pretty solid.
Yeah, we may not need the book to see because of the combination of mirror, flute, and Titan's mitts. We don't know where the mirror is just yet. But the book may be required if the mirror is in desert. We also have to keep that in mind.
Or, of course, something being required that's on one of the tablets. Because, thanks to some quick bug fixes, the tablets can hold progression items. There was a brief time in Rando where that didn't quite work, but it does now.
Yeah, and I know exactly why, too. It was simply because the seed did not consider one of the two swords in logic. One was all they required.
Yeah, designing a logic system like what Randomizer, well, like what any randomizer does, really, is a bit tricky.
Alright, so
trickier
Ninban
than doing a hammer Mothula? I don't know.
Alright, so Ninban knows he has to visit the Kakariko well because that was the medallion for Turtle Rock. But is it the one medallion we need, or do we need two? Well, he can go swing and grab the rest when he's in the area. Bugnet, which is found at Super Money. Not the most important thing to find, but it helps him get another safety.
Yep, and that is Mothula down for Furaime. Done with the hammer strats, no big deal. So that gets 2 of the 3 pendants. But also puts Furaime in the lead in terms of just dungeon completion.
Yeah, but Ninban's doing a lot of checks here. There's the Tempered Sword. Okay, things are starting to cooking here with Ninban. That sword may be red hot, though. It's not going to be setting things ablaze. Although it might slice through enemies like a hot knife through butter.
No, that's the next sword.
Well, no, we actually get the butter, or slice. It says the fourth sword.
So first we get one that's hot enough to go through butter, and then we get butter. Which you would imagine would actually be weaker if the first sword is good enough to get through butter. I'm applying too much logic to
Is that the Quake
names.
as well from Misery Mire? I think it was.
Went just too fast, I didn't see it.
Could have been Ether. I couldn't tell. It was too fast. But regardless of what it is, our runners will be picking up those medallions. As a matter of fact, if we know exactly if it was Ether or not, because Ninban is going to probably go over and pick up the no? Making a liar out of me. Ninban's going to turn his red into a blue, it looks like.
I was momentarily concerned and confused. Like, is this a Houlihan strat that I don't know? Why would they be doing a Houlihan strat? It's all very weird.
And we are being told in chat now that it's actually Ether that was at Misery Mire. My mistake. So it's vanilla medallion requirements.
And Ninban's setting up a fake flipper. Gonna go into ice, perhaps? Yeah, that's a dip into Ice Palace.
Alright, let's see what we got here.
I will point out Ice Palace is currently in logic.
I unfortunately did not see the hint there.
Yeah, the stream had to stutter at just the right moment.
Well, we'll get that information eventually. It's a pretty essentially a free hint. I don't think Team Furaime will do an interview if we win. We'll miss that. That's a mouthful of a name.
It kind of is. I'm just gonna go with Team Furaime since he's doing this run.
Pretty much, yeah.
It would get a little awkward if it were solos and it'd be like Team Furaime and it's Kyong. Like, that's a little strange.
Time to start making short work of the pen gators. Ooh. A-Rod's doing the arrow strats.
A little annoying when you don't have silvers to make it a one-shot.
But it's a safe A strat. It only takes 8 shots to kill Helmslor King here.
You get the $300 as a reward and the green pendant.
Unique item in Mini Molder game. Thanks, game. That was our Moon Pearl.
Stalfos being a little rude to Ninban, but cleaned it up.
So, I will say this much about the hints in here, in case you or folks aren't aware, but it's been out for a while. They should be. There is at least a guaranteed boots hit. It can't be disguised as a unique item, but there is a guaranteed boots hit.
Yep, and I believe it's also guaranteed that there is at least one joke hint. But the exact number of those is not guaranteed, so you could get a seed with a lot of useful hints. Or one where the only really useful thing is the boots hint.
So yeah, we're gonna get the third hint here.
The hammer is in Eastern. Thanks, game. The hint system. Guaranteed to work, not guaranteed to help.
Yeah. This is Kyong. Looks like he's going to make an effort to go into Ice Palace as well. So we'll see what that first hint was that we missed on Ninban's side. And the hint was...
Boots in
the boots are in Turtle Rock! Oh, there's the guaranteed boots hint! How about that?
So the question is, do you dip Turtle Rock before having the Ice Rod in order to grab those boots? Considering, if I remember the hint system correctly, those boots could be on Trinexx.
I would say go get them. Maybe not right away, but definitely go get them. Because the reason I say that is because we have 4 items currently locked by the boots, 2 which are reachable right now. And that's being the ones at Bonkrot's and the King's Tomb. For all we know at this point in time, the Ice Rod is boots locked, which will require a force double dive into Turtle Rock. But that is a worst case scenario right now. Right now, the runners are doing the right play and finishing what they're doing.
Remember, though, there's also the possibility that Ice Rod is in T-Rock, and so making that gamble is required regardless. Because just because we know one unique item in T-Rock, that doesn't mean we know all of them.
Indeed. But you really want the boots, let's be real.
Oh yeah, you want boots. They're stylish and help you go fast.
Was there a mushroom pound? I don't recall we ever seeing one of them. Oh, there is a mushroom on A-Rod.
Oh.
I guess that was in Skull Woods. We completely missed that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Furaime has it as well, so it must have been in Skull Woods. Furaime also having the Cane of Burna, which is a thing.
Oh, we found something else here too. Look what Ninban's got. Someone decided to put this book on ice because we have the Book of Medora.
Ooh, yeah. I don't have an ice literacy joke to make, but feel free to write one yourself in chat. Having to use up that blue goo, because no bombos. And finishing it off with the fire rod, just to be safe, down to 2 hearts. Yeah.
Alright, and this was a Samari locked dungeon. Not that it matters too much because our Samari was essentially free.
And not only is it free, it's helping Furaime skip magic powder. We'll see if that is a valuable skip or just a red herring. Just a red herring.
Alright. So we now know that it's Ether and Quake, so I expect Ninban to go pick up those medallions now while he's in the area. And then go into... Oh! He's going back over to Mr. Meyer.
Did Ninban pick up the... No! No, you didn't, Ninban.
Ladies and gentlemen, we may have a pedestal pull coming up here on Furaime.
Yep, a blind pedestal pull when the book is accessible.
Now, we did have to collect all the pendants regardless, so...
Yeah.
This isn't as hype a check as it could be in a normal seed, but who knows, maybe it's progression. And today our Master Sword pedestal is...
20
not
bucks.
required, it is a 20 rupee.
You get more money from your uncle than for pulling out the Sword of Legend. I tell you, heroism doesn't pay.
It really doesn't. Adventuring does, but heroism doesn't. I mean, have you seen some of Link's recent adventures? He has so much money that he literally has to leave it in the chests sometimes.
That is true. Although I never had that issue in Breath of the Wild.
Joe Kent there in Desert Palace, and notice the small key there on the Desert Torch. And
Yep,
we didn't see the big key there. We need those boots!
We have our boots locked.
See, this is a loot to fort. Ninban, where are you going?
I would hope going back to Kakariko to actually get the medallions, but you would flute to 3, not 4.
Checking the shovel while he's at it.
Oh! Double item.
Catfish is nothing. So, the amount of items that could potentially be Ice Rod locked behind boots has just increased a little bit there.
Yeah, because I guess at this point, anything behind desert would be boots locked. And there's still some progression items that we can have there.
A little bit of choppy string there, but Quake picked up for Ninban.
Actually, no, we found both of the fetch quest items. And we know Powder doesn't get anything, so... Nothing doing on the pyramid. Yeah, we are having the occasional stutter with Ninban. Unfortunately, by the nature of co-op, it's very hard to get audio that we can use on this restream to capture the game audio and not have the runner's conversation. So one of those things we're just going to have to kind of deal with, unfortunately.
And Ninban reading the pedestal. And we're seeing Kyong entering Misery Mire. So we'll see if we got anything in here.
Yeah, this is yet another clearable dungeon. We've had that Canis Maria and the Ether for a while.
So no matter which way you slice, that small key in the desert is required. So I don't think key stealing would be a natural thing, but it is something to talk about. Because that is something you could technically do.
It is, and the logic...
All it does is maybe guarantee one item and the key, big key. Because we already found one item in there.
Yeah, and you're gonna need to go back and get that small key regardless. There are not spare keys in really any dungeon other than Mire. And I guess Ice.
Yeah. And of course, the key logic is coded in such a way, even in Key Sanity, where they assume you can use your keys in the dumbest way possible, so... The logic does account for that key steal, but in most cases, not really a good idea to steal keys unless it's Key Sanity.
Yep, or that one in Turtle Rock that pretty much everyone steals, especially if you're...
Yeah, because all that does is most likely unlock the chest in Cinder Island, which could be a small key anyway. So it's really not stealing the key so much as it is just avoid taking the time to do a 1-for-1.
Now we do see Kyong skipping the left side of Mire. We know there's nothing of interest over there.
We also know some caches in Paradise Cave. Thank you, Turtle Rock.
So yeah, also, point of order, A-Rod's in Turtle Rock. We know we'll find Boots. Will we find Ice Rod, though?
We're about to find out, as we see A-Rod going in. Well, the Boots are not on the first floor, it looks like. But they still might be. We haven't checked the Fire Rod lock chest here. And all 4 runners knows the Boots are over in this area. I think only currently French Canadians know that they are required.
I believe you are correct, yes. Although it's entirely possible Team Furaime will just assume that the seed is going to be Boots locked. There's enough possibilities of that anyway.
Alright, so we got another small key there. It's looking, though, like this will not be a key steal situation here for Turtle Rock like we were talking about earlier. Because there's only 2 more places the big key can be. One, the change-out room, and its vanilla location. And what we normally key skip is the vanilla location.
Yeah, so we have a high chance of not key stealing on this one. It's a 50-50 chance, but come on, it's a high chance.
I want to key steal anyway in this seed because that might be our Ice Rod.
Yeah, or the
Make
boots.
absolutely sure.
Kyong taking care of Vitreous.
Oh, careful there, A-Rod.
Ooh, yeah.
Those
These change
change-ups
ups
want
do.
Those change-ups like biting. Oh!
Okay, there's a
Gets
big
through.
key.
Whew! Yeah, those change-ups hurt, folks. They hurt a lot. Actually, wait, did we just get the hint?
I
We get,
don't.
I don't recall seeing the Misery Mire hint.
I don't think that any of our runners were near were near a hint tile. I don't know.
Oh, the bunny meme ate the fire rod shot meant for the Hokuboku. That's not good.
Whoa. That's just an array of rude.
Yeah, and A-Rod's got to be extremely careful here. Give me heart attacks left and right. All right.
The mirror.
The mirror is in the vanilla Binky chest. That is something you do not avoid. And A-Rod drinking his potion now. Smart play there. Vitreous down. Has a small key.
And there's Kyong getting the info that Desert is boots locked.
Well-timed magic pickups there as well from the Hokuboku. Can just burn that one down and move on. Alright, so we're gonna see Mimic Cave here. And
Well-
Ninban is immediately on his way.
We'll see.
Although with
if,
the mirror... Sorry, go on.
Well, we'll see if chat was trolling us about Mimic Cave or not.
Well, here's the thing. With the mirror pickup, Swamp could have our Ice Rod.
Very well could.
And with that having like 6 items in it, pretty safe bet. Nope, peace
Yeah.
heart. They were trolling us.
Good show, chat. Good show.
Well played.
Yeah, there are quite a few mirror-locked locations. The 6 in Swamp being the best density, but you've also got South of Grove, you got Checkerboard. We know Graveyard Ledge isn't anything.
And we also have, more importantly, the Bombos tablet,
That we do.
which could have something.
I don't think anyone's checked the Ether tablet either.
Nope. Smoky. Wow, our boots are deep in Turtle Rock.
Oh yeah, they're Laser Bridge or Trinex. That is gnarly.
Currently, we have not got a hint about the Ice Rod. The only hints we have not seen thus far are Agate Tower, Swamp Palace, this Misery Mire, and the cave in the Dark World side of where Ice Rod is. I just call it Dark Ice Rod.
Yeah, I believe entrance randomizer runners will call it the shopping mall. But this is an entrance, so we're not going anywhere near that.
Indeed. And in case anyone's wondering what I mean by Dark Ice Rod, it's literally just a hint tile that's got spikes in it underneath the boulder there in the Dark World. It's actually checked occasionally in inverted, but this is no regular. There's no reason to go over that way.
Yeah, I would assume it's easier to get to in inverted.
Oh yeah, because you can just check Ice Rock Cave and then mirror to the Dark World from there.
It's like Ninban. I don't believe that death was intentional.
And laser skips are proving to be quite annoying there for A-Rod. We're gonna choose to take the Cape Strat instead.
There's
our fourth sword!
So I expect our runners will be on butter.
Our container. One of these is a small key.
Is the other one boots?
We'll have to wait for a
A-Rod?
moment. A-Rod's out of magic.
You're gonna have to get this skip. Just a hard container on that tablet. Powder! Boots are on Trinexx.
Ladies and gentlemen, this scene is gave you the boots it and then immediately told and then you find out nothing.
And best part is we already know Powder isn't even progression.
But A-Rod and the French Canadians don't know that.
They don't.
But Ninban knows not to check the rest of this place. He's out.
Yep, get that mirror and get hunting for that ice rod. We are in ice rod mode, basically. Because we know we need the boots, but we know where they are. And we got everything else we're gonna need. Our runners on Butter Sword, they're not gonna worry about silvers.
And you know what else? Someone is actually putting it up in chat. Nothing can be in Desert Palace now because we have everything we need. Well, I stand corrected. We might need the silver arrows still. Oh, who am I kidding? We got Temper, so we'll be fine.
Yeah, we're good.
Silvers could still be in Desert Palace. And I believe that was a Saint card there.
On Ninban's, it would have been Sank Heart, because the tablet was a full heart container.
Okay. And you can see Furaime moving in the dark here.
Just showing off, really.
Yeah, using the fire bars in their relative position there. If I can check, hey, green ruby from the mushroom turn in. And we miss the item.
Yeah, just enough frame drop on Ninban's side to hide it yet again. Didn't see anything on the menu. So yeah, probably rubies or something.
From the sound, it was money.
Furaime about to get the disappointing news.
Yep, you're literally going in there for just mirror. Ninban, meanwhile, is going to be taking advantage of these mirror checks. A-Rod's going to be checking the flippers. Because you know it has to be somewhere. Oh, Ninban's getting the flippers as well. He's might be thinking go to Swamp.
That would be a smart next play. Again, 6 item locations. And it's actually the only dungeon we haven't seen that we can actually address so far. We're an hour in and we've seen almost every single dungeon.
Yeah, we know. We can also isolate a few locations too. Pyramid Fairy's not going to have anything for us. could have something else to deal with.
Now, I don't believe we've seen any hints about the left side of Swamp. We saw that hint about the left side of Mire, but not Swamp.
Yeah, and we already know what pet is, unfortunately, it's Cow Cash. Yeah, this seed's been kind of on the sluggish side. It's more of an average seed, really.
Yeah, it just gets sped up by it being a co-op seed and all of these runners being pretty good at rando.
Alright, let's see what King Zora has for us today. And the Smiths. And if we have seen Agina, we have seen Catfish. King Zora has the silvers! So, yeah. Anything that's mirror locked right now is where our boots could be. And that's it. We don't need anything else.
Yep. We don't even really need those. I don't know that Kyong and Ninban are even going to bother with those.
We still need the Ice Rod, of course, but at this point, it's a high chance the Ice Rod is the item that's mirror locked, so we're not in go mode just yet, folks. But those silvers are a very nice pickup for both Furaime and A-Rod, and Ninban and Kyong, by virtue of this being co-op, know where they are as well.
And Furaime, an hour and 5 dungeons in, finally gonna bother to pick up the lamp.
And yeah, there's no point stealing the Desert Palace key, because nothing in there is gonna be required, because we know our boots are mirror locked. Or no, our boots are Ice Rod locked, rather.
And we know the Ice Rod is gonna be mirror locked.
So essentially, it's gonna boil down to a boots go mode, but we already know exactly where the boots are, because we had a hint that said if the boots are in Turtle Rock. We have checked everything in Turtle Rock except the boss. So we know the boots are on Trinex, which means we absolutely need the Ice Rod for them.
And it really looks like Ninban is going to be dipping into Swamp, checking those 6 locations that are all mirror locked. But Furaime is doing the same.
Yeah, A-Rod I don't think has the Butter Sword. He knows where it is, but his third sword came from Turtle Rock. Graveyard Ledge we've had a hint for Graveyard Ledge. Checkerboard has not been checked, though. And I think that's what A-Rod's going to do right here.
Yep, they are in the area.
Meanwhile, Ninban's going to dive into Swamp. Now, there is a hint of the entrance to Swamp that we have not read. It could tell us where our Ice Rod is.
Or not.
Sagash is underwater. Yeah, that's not helpful. Because there's a lot of things that are flooded, as we've checked. Could even mean one of the chests here in the back of Swamp is money.
That's honestly what I would expect at this point.
First chest in Swamp, money. A-Rod going into Misery Mire, maybe to finish the dungeon off, and also maybe check the hint. That's a hint we haven't seen as the Misery Mire hint. That could tell us where the Ice Rod is. It's very unlikely they go check it, but they at least don't have to activate the cutscene in order to do it. They just have to go all the way over there.
Yeah, still a little time lost, but not as bad as doing the entire show.
Yeah, they just... But that time loss could be what they need to do, because, like I said, could just be the mirror hit, or the ice rod hit right there. Could say ice rod is on a tablet.
We've seen both tablets, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Well, we know it can't be Pyramid Fairy, because that's, the seed is basically setting us up for the boots to be our final progression item.
Yeah, and honestly, like, right now with Ninban and Furaime both in Swamp, both teams running at about the same information. This is a race to no mode.
Ice rod!
We've hit no mode.
No, actually, I think it was in go mode.
Oh yeah, no, that's full on go mode.
Because we know the only item they're missing is the boots for desert, but they know exactly where the boots for desert are.
So yep, 1 hour, 5 minutes, both teams simultaneously in go mode.
Yeah. They'll have to go fight Trinex for their boots, but that's a misnomer. They have to fight Trinex anyway. It's a crystal boss, as well as this being all dungeons anyway, so even if it wasn't a crystal boss, they had to fight him anyway.
Yep, and I have to say, at this point, Team Furaime definitely has the advantage. They have 10 of the 20 dungeons across the two of them. The French Canadians at 7 across the two runners.
Oh, actually, it's 21. 22.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta count that Aga Tower. And technically, we also need to count GT as well, so that's 24 dungeons we have to clear.
Okay, so I'm very wrong.
We don't usually mark GT, though, let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, GT usually is the last one that our runners do, but in all dungeons, often Aga Tower is the last one to do.
Yeah. Thankfully, though, the seed is set up in such a way that Aga Tower will be the last one to do, and that's actually a good thing. Because one of the most common things you see in all dungeons is trying to save Aga for last. And it's not because, oh, it'll be convenient to we get put on top of the pyramid, right, and then we can head to Ganon. It's more so the fact you get a refill as you enter Ganon. You don't get a refill when you clear Ganon's tower.
Exactly, so it's not only good positioning, it's good resourcing as well.
Yeah. And this is a reminder, folks, anyone who may not be familiar with an all dungeons goal. It's the same thing as crystals. We need to get the 7 crystals and defeat Aga 2, but Ganon will not be vulnerable. He will only be vulnerable in an all dungeons goal if we also have cleared all 3 pendant dungeons and defeated Aga 1. Essentially, every main boss has to fall. There's only one exception to a boss that is optional, and that is the Ice Tower most, but that's dependent if the Ganon Tower key is there. We'll get to that in a little while.
And A-Rod taking on Vitreous with silver arrows, much simpler than when our other runners took care of it. Yep, Ninban and Furaime both heading straight to Trinex.
And yes, folks, the boots are required for Desert Palace. Just to remind you, folks, we have the map in the map chest and a small key on the torch. So, on the surface, it's a vanilla Desert Palace. We need the boots in order to advance.
I mean, we know it's not vanilla once we get to the big chest, because in vanilla, that's a glove.
That's true. But as far as the first two checks in the dungeon are concerned, it's vanilla. So this is Ninban going down to get his boots to be officially in go mode in terms of item collection. He's already in go mode by information, which, as far as I'm concerned, is just as good.
You have an A-Rod naturally making the exact same plays right after. Thanks to all that communication, they know exactly where the Ice Rod is going to be.
Yep.
And they will be in good position to also take out Tower of Hera, which they are yet to do.
Yeah, if you look at the dungeons clear here, it's a very definitive story that even though they've been looking for this Ice Rod, team interview. It's hard to minimize that thing. Team Furaime has been clearing their dungeons consistently. They've already got half of their dungeons done on both of their sides.
I like calling them team interview.
I don't know why I thought of that. Anyway, folks, there's another thing in case you're just not tuning in. This is a cooperative race. Team Furaime on the left, Team French Canadians on the right. And the average time of their finish is what determines if they get the win or not. At this point, it's looking like Team Furaime will finish first and second, which will automatically lock them in as the winner of this race. If it gets to a situation in which there is a split, then it will go down to average.
Yes, the right side of your screen is Les French Canadiens. The left side of your screen is Team Furaime will do an interview if we win. I would say that's the most ridiculous team name that I've heard in any kind of league, but...
Well, did you say Team Furaime is on the right?
No, I said on the left.
Just making sure. It's very easy to say the wrong thing here, because that is a mouthful of a name.
It is. But I was going to say, not the silliest team name that I've seen in leagues, because I've seen minor league baseball team names, and some of those are pretty silly.
Alright, so Ninban's going to be looking to figure out the gold sword here.
Yeah, Furaime's screen is freezing up a little on us, but definitely has the boots.
Yep. So Furaime is the first of our runners in go mode. It looks like we've lost Ninban here a little bit as well. Massive frame drops on his end. Those things happen.
Yeah, and I mean, worst case, the league does have some rules and whatnot, just in case a stream, goes offline or we have general issues like that. So the race will go on.
Speaking of the league, folks, we're getting down to the wire here in terms of this week of races, and next week is going to be some fun to be had. It's going to be Crossworld Entrance Key Sanity, which means light connectors can take you from light to the dark world. There's no difference there. And in terms of the goal of that seed, just as a heads up, that is going to be a Crystals goal, which means Aga 2 is not required to be defeated in that mode in order to make Ganon vulnerable. You just need to find your 7 crystals and collect them. That's going to be starting next week on April 14th. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we like to test these runners on all sorts of variations of what Randomizer can be, including the trolley ones.
Yeah, I've seen cross keys though. It is actually quite fun if you can get the routing done. It's just literally check everything there.
Yep.
But yeah, it's essentially key sanity. everyone knows Key Sanity. All the keys are shuffled in the item pool. And Crossworld basically means all the entrances are shoveled with the... And any connectors that are in the light world could take you to the dark world and vice versa. Sometimes traversing 2 connectors without the Moon Pearl is required as well.
Yes, as a whole different kind of test of your ability to route this game. Like co-op is certainly a different kind of routing, but cross keys is a whole nother level.
And as far as the schedule is, as far as I can tell in the schedule, it's going to be 1v1 again.
Yep.
So we'll be back to a more somewhat stable thing there. There's the boots for Kyong. A-Rod's going to be the last one of our runners to get the boots. I will at least say this much. Thank goodness there are trackers.
Oh, absolutely.
Not just our trackers, Cassidy Moen and Map Girl behind the scenes here keep those items up to date for you, but there's like personal map trackers you can have, which makes cross keys a lot more manageable.
But seriously, shoutouts to Math Girl and Cassie Moen for helping keep all of this straight in this match. Trackers are always appreciated and always end up flying a little under the radar.
Yeah, there's nothing else. They keep us honest up here in the booth. Alright, Armos are falling on Ninban's end. That looked to be a very clean, for what little we saw of it, the very clean quick deal there without silvers. If Furaime has a frozen bird there, is he gonna... Nope.
Oh.
No bird toss today. No time.
Toss the bird. Toss the bird. I mean, they are in go mode, so yeah, little preoccupied. And honestly, Furaime has the best, like, dungeon routing left to do, having Mire and Desert just right next to each other. I mean, A-Rod has Hera coming up after T-Rock, so that's pretty good positioning. But definitely being able to do Mire and then swap right back to Desert is just convenient and nice. It's just nice.
Oh, he's already done. A-Rod's already done Mire. Furaime, though, has got a nice clean route here of doing Mire, Desert, your GT, the Agate Tower, and then going to fight Ganon. And I don't know why he's not marked as a bottle. He does have a bottle with the old man save point. I don't think that one is avoidable. Oh, actually, no, we had a flute. Never mind. I think Furaime did set up spooky action here, so we'll be seeing that. It's all based on that bird, by the way. If you live to the rock from below, which I actually don't recall him seeing, he's got spooky action armed. And there is a tell for when he's gonna be going for the second part of it here. I'll see if I can pick up on it. Meanwhile, A-Rod's fighting the boss.
And there's the boots.
Yeah, and there is Spooky on Furaime's end. It is armed.
Very spooky indeed.
Yeah, it's all about... There's basically projectile flag set for the bird. And the position of the bird was stored in memory, and he's basically manipulated it in such a way that he doesn't need to change it. You do need the boots, though, for spooky action, because setting a block with a cane does actually reset the projectile flag, but not if you have, for some reason, not if you have the boots dust up. when you set the block.
So by the nature of the glitch, we're saying that the bird and projectiles are basically the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same value.
Does that mean we could shoot a bird at Ganon?
No.
What do we have to do to be able to shoot a bird at Ganon?
And yeah, definitely they're adding that this does use of the value that the game would set. And that's essentially why, at least in terms of the setup that Furaime was using, the boots are required. You can use something other than that to set it up, but the it's more ideal to use the boots because it doesn't waste ammunition, and they are admittedly probably the easiest of the ways to set it up. And now the chat is thinking, like, let's throw birds at Ganon. You can't throw that. Unfortunately, the duck is only for transport.
I feel like chat is supporting my initiative here of just throwing animals at Ganon.
Alright, anyway, Furaime is on his way to
enough of
the
that.
palace.
And Kyong, having just finished up, is going to head over to Skull Woods. Ninban taking care of Thieves Town. Going to hit Skull Woods immediately after that, right in the neighborhood. And A-Rod just cleaning up on Eastern.
Yeah. A-Rod, unfortunately, here has 4 dungeons that are quite far apart from each other. He has Eastern, he has Desert, he has Hera, and he has Ice. Thankfully, he can save Hera for last in that list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice palace. When you're in go mode, you can clear it relatively quickly.
Yeah, and Kyong does not have the silver arrows, but he knows where to pick them up if he absolutely wants them. But I don't think he's gonna walk over to Zor first to pick them up. And yeah, get your key. That's it, folks, because we're heading to Ganon's Tower. So,
Yep,
folks, there are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower, only one of which is the big key. Give us the number in chat of which you think that big key is located. And if you are a sub or a supporter to Speed Gaming Inc.'s channels, be it through 250 bits or more, or a subscription to any one of our channels, those you are eligible to be recognized by our bot here to be put on the leaderboard. So, let's see them fly. Huffman, where do you think our big key is today?
You know, I'm gonna give it a solid dozen. I know that's been said in chat, but I'm gonna say 12.
I'm gonna go Torch. I don't know if they'll check that right away, but I'm gonna say Torch.
So 1 or 3.
Yeah.
At least in terms of like common routes.
Alright. So we'll close the game when we see Furaime enter Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, but Kyong is actually not too far behind. Fairly good chance we'll see the big key from Furaime first, but if they end up taking different routes, who knows, might actually get it on Kyong's side first. Regardless, Furaime's count will be the one that we go with for the game purposes.
Yep.
And yep, Furaime is in. The count has stopped.
Yep, I can get the game from here as well.
Number
Big Key
one.
1! Wow!
Wow. Well, so much for that game.
Closest guess was 9 for Belanoff. Well done.
So yeah, just grab those 2 small keys. That's all you need for the tower climb. And Furaime is off.
Yeah, this is a Jet GT, so that's gonna be fun. We see both runners in GT now, so this is Team Furaime's game to lose, essentially. Because once they cross the finish line, it doesn't really matter. Uh-oh. Kyong might have done a mistake.
There is a backup key. The mini Helmosaurs always carry one.
Ah, that's right, that's right, that's right.
So really you only need one coming up here. But you would rather have 2 so you don't have to deal with those little jerks.
Alright. So both of our runners for Team Furaime are climbing up the tower.
And Ninban is actually headed to GT right now.
Yeah, but A-Rod here is gonna have to do some catching up here.
Yeah. Has a good route to work with, but again, still have to get through ice and then get through Hera.
Yeah, which Hera's not that bad. Not that bad.
Nope, it's
Good on
just
for
more
leaving it
dungeon
for
to do.
last. Yeah. Unfortunately, A-Rod kind of left a whole bunch of these dungeons isolated, which didn't help the endgame routing. Alright, Ninban is entering GT as Furaime is on the Moldorm floor. Meanwhile, Kyong is dealing with the last of the gauntlet with the Lammo floor. And yeah, nothing wrong with Hera being last. It's just having 4 dungeons essentially scattered across the overworld like that is not exactly the most ideal situation you want to be in when you're in go mode.
And yeah, with this being a fire-locked Hera, that makes it all the more annoying.
Alright, we're gonna see Furaime over the final chest. Heart piece. Alright.
Just a little love to send you on your way.
Oh, there's half magic. Oh no, Ninban went full left.
Oh, Ninban! Oh no, Dark Magician.
Okay, that works too.
That is slightly less silly, but still disappointing. It's actually weird when Dark Magician is the less silly option.
I was worried for a second that he actually did full little left side. Anyway, we're playing tennis here with Aga 2.
Ooh. Not seeing
Yeah, these
Not
are
seeing
not
much
exactly great
here.
patterns here, but gets it done. And I guess we can play a secondary game, although we don't have a bot for this. Folks, get your guesses in the chat once again, 1 to 15, as to how many blue balls you think Aga1 will throw at us, because it is a seeded amount for all our runners. They will have the same RNG. Same goes with Aga2 and Ganon, actually. And I think a few of the other bosses, but it's fairly difficult to tell on those.
Yeah, for a lot of those, the boss positioning or behavior or whatnot is dependent in part on what you're doing as well. Aga is Aga, does his own thing.
Indeed, as does Ganon. I'm gonna be nice to say about 2. That's a safe number. That's the most common you see.
I'm gonna say 4.
Basically, force 3 cycles. That works.
Now, of course, we say 1 to 15 because with correct play, 15 is the most that you can end up facing. If you mess up a reflection, then it can go higher. But
Yeah.
It hitting 15, just that is pretty rare.
Yeah. So basically, if you don't know how Aga1 works, he basically has a script of 5 moves he does. The first one is guaranteed to be a reflectable orange shot, and then the next 3 in his set is either a reflectable orange shot or a non-reflectable blue shot, as we call the blue balls, because it breaks into those 6 blue fireballs. His 5th attack is also fixed, but it is lightning, which you cannot reflect and you must dodge. He'll always move to the top of the room, and then after he finishes that attack, he will repeat the pattern. So, with that guaranteed orange shot, if Aga is being really unkind, we have a 6 cycle Aga1 for the 15 blue shots.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in all my time running and commentating, I've never seen a full 15.
I think I've seen it once. It is extremely rare. Whoa! Furaime doing a little bit of a super speed on the stairs there.
And here we go, off to Aga1. First shot, always reflectable.
Yep. Alright, so here comes the 50-50s.
There's
First
one.
one is a blue ball.
There's 2. We're on pace. There's 3.
Alright, so... my guess is already gone. The average is 2 or 3, so... Alright, second guaranteed reflectable shot.
That was reflectable.
Alright, so it's not a 15, unfortunately.
And that one was reflectable. So that's
4 hits.
4 hits in. And 4
Another
blue balls.
blue ball, so it's going to be a force 3 cycle at the very minimum. 4 cycles at most. 2 more hits left.
That's 2 more blue balls.
So we're up to 6. We were both wrong.
We were both 6 blue balls.
Actually, no, we were both right if we combine our answers.
Look, I didn't sign up to do math, okay?
Yeah, well. Anyway, with Aga1 down and all the bosses defeated, it is now time to fight the pig. He is vulnerable for our goal. Gold sword and silver arrows in hand. This is going to be a pretty quick fight for Furaime. 6 slashes in order to advance each phase in phases first 2. Yes, good wording me. After the first 2 phases, Ganon will move on to phase 3, in which those are seeded teleports. or just going back to that whole fairness thing. A slash before when Ganon tries to shoot bats will make him stomp the ground and advance the phase slightly. After the ground breaks, he'll give you the silver arrows hint, and it'll be the darkness technique. Keep the torches lit, stun with the sword, let loose 4 silver arrows. It'll be 3 spin attacks per silver arrow for those who do not have silvers, and 12 spin, or 6 spin, 12 slashes for Furaime, and Furaime falls! Oh no! So, now we can talk about this.
Now we get to do it all over again.
And the seating will be different for Furaime. That is how this works. Ganon's seating will now be different for this. So he will not get the same pattern as Kyong's about to get.
It is actually now possible that Kyong will finish first.
Probably not.
It depends on how trolly the teleport pattern becomes. It can
Well,
waste a
it's the
lot of
fact
frames
that he has
time.
to do silver. It's the fact that he has to do silverless over silvers.
We'll see.
But yeah, it's 12 slashes for Kyong, or 6 spins. And for Kyong, it will be 12 spin attacks as Ganon begins to teleport away in phase 4. With the torches still lit. And yes, we do know the silver arrows are. There's actually a close race here between Kyong and Furaime, but they are on the same team, so they doesn't really care which one of the two of them they finish first.
Nah, this match on the left side, as it were, it's all about team pride.
And Ganon falls first on Furaime's end. Ladies and gentlemen, get your GG's in chat for Furaime. Who has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, 6 seconds. Kyong, not that far behind though. Has now finished Ganon as well. This will lock in for Team Furaime. We'll do an interview if we win as the winners of this co-op race. As Ninban finishes in second place with a time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, 28 seconds. This shuts out Team Les French Canadians from winning the seed. Their average time will always be superior at this point. GG's to Kyong and Furaime.
GG's indeed. And as per the name, Furaime must do an interview now. We'll see.
I think
if
if they win the overall thing. I'm not gonna bug him about it.
I know, he's already said no interview. Oh, the team name only applies in the finals. You needed to add that to the team name to be more explicit. No matter if it's even longer and sillier in that case. But we do have Kyong in the waiting room. Want to pull them in?
Kyong, congratulations on you and your team winning this race. Those boots are quite annoying, let's be real.
Yeah. Oh man, because Furaime was the one that went to Turtle Rock on our team first, so the time when he realized where boots were was quite the time, yeah.
I mean, it did get you a 4th sword in the progress, but yeah, bit annoying.
Yeah. And those silvers were kind of an awkward location for you as well.
Yeah, we have a few spots that we ended up orphaning kinda early, which we kinda ended up prioritizing them afterwards, which is why I ended up just going to Pyramid, Catfish and stuff while Furaime was climbing to to Turtle Rock.
And yeah, this this scene was kind of okay with the hints there, with the boostings being right there where you needed it. Unfortunately, this was a forced double dip into Turtle Rock, which is not exactly fun. And even then, it made essentially force another two mountain climbs out of you because you needed to get the boots in order to go finish Desert.
Yeah. Definitely was a seed that was much better co-op. Because that hurt so much less.
I mean, at least the Ganon's Tower was kind of you.
Yeah, for sure. That was fun.
So what did you and Furaime think about the scene?
I think wasn't nothing too special, I guess. As usual, some of my early plays ends up costing us, like me going to Eastern early, hey, I got the hammer, then immediately after Furaime finds the bow, things like that, but other than that was fine.
Did you have
Oh,
like a
yeah,
specific?
yeah, yeah. There was that situation where Furaime got the meats in pod in the dark, but he wasn't actually sure that he got the meats there. But it wasn't. It was like almost
He probably
scared that
interrupted
maybe he got the meats earlier and didn't notice and didn't say to me. But at least it was there in pod, so we were fine.
Well, folks, as we just saw, Ninban has finished in third place officially now with a time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, 10 seconds. Get your GGs in chat for Ninban. And yeah, for the most part, the race was fairly close, all things considering. And
Yeah, you two definitely had the lead throughout most of it, but it was never a very wide lead.
yeah. So, I had to ask one more thing. How did you like those medallions? Kyung?
We might have lost Keon.
Well, we'll see about getting
Yeah.
Ninban in here in the meantime.
I think should be fixed now.
Alright, so like I said, those medallions, how'd you like them?
Yeah, those medals are pretty interesting, being one after the other there, and it was definitely helpful actually because of Furaime having to do Dark Pod early.
Yeah.
So I always like to ask with these co-op races, how do you kind of plan how you're going to route things out early on? Because anyone could go anywhere, especially early in the race.
Right. We basically just kind of branch. Usually I start on Sanctuary, go to Lost Woods, and try to go to Kakariko, depending on how triples and stuff on the way ends up working out. And Furaime goes to Uncle. But after that's really just kind of free for all. And both of us just having our own opinions, decisions, and discussing what should we do and things like that.
But yeah, for the most part, this scene was, with the exception of the whole Ice Rod, Mirror, and Boot scenario, kind of a fun scene, actually. That one looked like it would have been a great one to play. And you guys just absolutely blasted through it in classic co-op style. For all those, though, wasn't that bad either, if you think about it. Again, it was just the Mirror, Ice Rod, Boots kind of
It
threw
would
a wrench
definitely
into your
be
routing.
a very, very different seed if you didn't have hints.
Oh yeah, I'm glad they're there. Trust me. Also glad to know that at least the Boots is guaranteed. Although, on this seed, it probably should need to be a little bit more specific and say the Boots were on Trinex.
Well, actually, with that hint, he actually pushed us to try to go for TR rates to get the mirror, so at least there's that.
Yeah. The Boots hint was kind of a troll, but at the same time, it was also kind of nudging in the right direction where the sea wanted you to go. Although, I will admit, boots for Gomo does not feel good. And it's just for an official Go mode, really, because by that point, once you found the ice ride, you knew you were in Go mode.
Yeah.
Alright, we see A-Rod just dropping down to Ganon, should be clearing out in just a couple of minutes and getting the French Canadians their official final time. Yes, I see the runners arguing in chat. We like to keep it lighthearted here.
Well, in the meantime, let me go ahead and pull up the schedule here to tell you guys what you're going to be dealing with next here on Speed Gaming. And actually next is Zelda 1 Randomizer following this match right now. We will be having that in the next few minutes here. That match, if I can... I have to go get the schedule. Hang on.
I will also mention in terms of schedules, with the league schedule, will see these two teams face off again on Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, so the Zelda 1 match you're about to see here, folks, on Speed Gaming will be Karakaren V versus Jade Cobra in the All Boards No Swords tournament, so that will be a great one to watch. If you're more also inclined to watch something else that's not Zelda-based, we do have Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer going on in Speed Gaming 5 here, and Pac-Man World 2 happening on Speed Gaming 4. And then later, and going on right now, actually, is the ALTTPR Randomizer Daily Race. It is Expert Difficulty tonight. That's already about an hour in progress as we speak. And also in progress right now is another Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer Spring Tournament race in there, as we do have A-Rod finishing here with an official time of 1 hour, 46 minutes, 45 seconds. And they are now joining us here in the booth. GG's to you.
Thanks.
Furaime and Kyong.
Yeah,
GG's.
big GG.
So, Ninban, you went approximately most of the sea without grabbing any of the medallions. I'm assuming that was an intentional strategic choice.
Well, yeah, going to Kakariko was annoying, and there was nothing else to get there. It bit me a bit because I could not do Turtle Rock on my first go on Death Mountain, and it made me avoid the mirror, but it wasn't so bad. I knew I didn't need to go in the tavern.
What was that?
I knew I didn't need to go in the tavern to get my bombos.
Ah, yes.
The tavern skip, the most important skip in the entire game.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When you enter a tavern, you just sit there, drink a lot of beers, and you never leave. So I didn't want to go
all
there
your
tonight.
problems. Like,
Yeah.
the whole thing about Ganon taking over, whatever.
The only good thing is the man on the other side that tells you a joke.
Yeah,
We need to...
yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah. So, we need to wrap this up real quick because, of course, like I just said, we do have a Zelda 1 Randomizer race happening in the next few minutes here. So, real quick, final thoughts on this seed from you guys. I'm sorry we had to cut your interview short.
Well, I'm glad that I'm only 10 minutes behind Kyong in frame.
I'm used to being 3 minutes behind them. I'm never in front. But that was nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, commentators, tracker, streamers, everyone, Speed Gaming,
Yeah, make sure to follow.
chatters.
Make sure to follow these 4 runners here. They put an excellent race for us tonight. Also, make sure to follow our 2 trackers, Castimo and Math Girl, as well as my co-commenter Huffbent. But yeah, we gotta get going here, folks. That Zelda 1 race is gonna happen here any minute now. So from all of us here at A Link to the Past Randomizer, I have been Wolfling0370, and we just say until next time, and thank you for watching. Have a good night, everyone.